Looking at the Markets with David Modell. Hello and welcome to Looking at the Markets with David Modell. I'm a huge fan of the gold and minerals sector, as you should know by now, and I love to profit from great stocks in the gold sector in particular. And I've got a gold expert here. He is Dr. Quinton Henney, the director of Newfound Gold. If you are interested in learning more about Newfound Gold, I want you to go to newfoundgold.ca. Link is in the description below this video. And if you're interested in the stock, on the TSXV exchange, it is NFG. On the OTC Markets exchange, NFGFF. Mr. Henney, welcome to Looking at the Markets, sir.
Thank you very much, David.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about gold in just generally. I don't need a particular price target from you. I will say, though, that analysts at Bank of America have projected that gold will reach an all-time high of $3,000 per ounce by the end of 2021. I think that's modest, actually. Now, what are the drivers, as you see it, of this exciting new bull cycle in gold?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to pretend I can prognosticate about gold price, but it's easy to talk about the drivers. I do think, that gold price will be up over the next, few months to year or two. What happens in the meantime, there's going to be a little up and down here. Okay. It's, since August of last year, it's clearly gone sideways. It's taken a breather, but it's also building a lot of energy, we'll call it, for the next leg up. What's driving it? Well, if it's not obvious to most folks, it's all about how our government and others are dealing with the current fiscal dilemmas that they're faced. It's huge debt has got to be monetized at some point, and that will translate into an increased amount of cash in our system that ultimately results in increased gold price, but also higher prices for a lot of things. Okay, it's not just going to be gold. A lot of things are going to go up. I do think gold will benefit in particular because people see it as a safe haven. It's basically an insurance policy, if you will, for times like this. So I think we are going to see a prolonged period. Unfortunately, it's going to be quite painful for many. When people realize they have to spend 15 or 20 bucks on a Big Mac, it's not going to be a happy day, but gold will do well.
Yeah, I do believe gold will do well, and I like to capitalize on the gold bull cycle that I believe we're going to see for the rest of this year and the coming years. And one way to capitalize is to get involved with Newfound Gold. Can you tell me about the size and the mineral characteristics of Newfound Gold's huge land package, and that's located in the central Newfoundland gold belt? Can you tell me about that, please?
Yeah, it's an extraordinary land package. I mean, these guys did a fantastic job of putting together a claim position over what is turning out to be a just incredibly prolific belt. The entire strike length of prospective ground they have is about 110 kilometers. They're really just exploring the northernmost part, in earnest right now with drilling and so forth. But the southern part of that belt is also prospective. They did at least initial exploration work, say mid last year, that showed some very good prospects to the south as well. Right now, they're focused on, say, the northernmost, 15 kilometers or so of the Appleton Fault corridor, along which this exceptionally high-grade mineralization occurs.
Sure. Now, how is the Queensway Project at Newfound Gold similar to the Kirkland Lake? Kirkland Lake, just for people who don't know, they had a highly successful find with the Fosterville mine, and I believe you found that Queensway, that project is quite similar in some ways. Can you tell me how?
Exactly. Look, it's a very unusual. It's kind of like getting struck by lightning twice, but I was very fortunate to be part of the story at Fosterville. Fosterville is in Australia, so let me give you a little background. Fosterville was an operating mine for many, many years. It actually has a history dating way back into the late 1800s. So the old timers mine it, but then more recently, several companies have owned the mine, say starting in the late 1990s, and it produced about 1 million ounces in a period from say late 1990s all the way up to 2016. We'll call it somewhere in there. I think they produced their 1 millionth ounce of gold, but it was low grade. Okay, it was a lower grade deposit, 4.5 gram average head grade. They did some open pit mining, but the bulk of the mining that's been done over the past 10 or 15 years was from underground at these low grades. In late 2015, as they were doing incremental step out drilling in advance of mining, they started to hit some exceptionally high grade, and that's about when I got to take a look at the mine. So I had a look in early 2016, and I was ready to be disappointed. But when I got to the mine and I went underground and I looked at the stopes, I looked at the core that they were producing, I was convinced that they were in an incredibly unique position within these types of systems where you see this high grade transition. Usually 99% of the time, Mother Nature erodes away this part of the system and it's gone forever. Okay, it's like these orogenic systems, as they, by their nature, okay, they get uplifted during mountain formation, and as they do, the tops get eroded away, and you lose that high grade cap. But in the case of Fosterville, it was preserved. It was about 800 meters below surface where they started hitting this incredibly high grade mineralization, and that evolved over the next couple of years into the Swan Zone, which turned out to be a few million ounces at very high grade, over 2 ounce per ton gold. Okay, now that was found within an operating mine. Now let's go over to Queensway. Queensway, there was historic work here dating back to the 1980s that indicated there were high grades. There was also, solid evidence this is a classic epizonal orogenic deposit, like, we'll say like Fosterville, but it was really underappreciated. I think there was a perception that they were just small, maybe small high grade pods or something like this, and nobody really took in that bigger picture. I think what made the difference with Newfound is that when they went in as a private company and they drilled that first round of drilling, they hit high grade gold in multiple holes. Now, the headline hole, of course, was 19 meters of 93 grams. A phenomenal drill hole. Okay, that's 19 meters of 3 ounce rock. That's wonderful. But what you got to pay attention to is other holes hit high grade as well. Okay, and that's what caught my attention. Is I looked at the core, and it looked just like the stuff you'd see at Fosterville. It had the right textures, the right grain size of the gold particles, other minerals involved in the vein assemblage. Basically, I saw the same geology in the two systems. And when I saw that, I was so excited. I actually, as Noble, which I'm chairman, we took out a 15 million share ownership in Newfound while it was a private company. Now we have it obviously in the publicly traded company, and I'm absolutely delighted. We basically have a 10% stake in what is probably the best high-grade gold discovery in North America in perhaps decades.
Sounds like a huge opportunity to me. Now, I've heard that the company, Newfound Gold, is literally doubling both the size and the rig count of the Queensway drill program. Is that true?
That's right, and for good reason. Look, if you look at the news releases since August when we went public, and we've had these routine updates with assays from successive drill holes, every single one of those news releases shows high-grade results again and again and again. Okay, and the first step outs, they were close spaced because we wanted to get a good handle on which way the thing was going. Now we're starting to do bigger step outs, and we're still seeing these very high-grade results. In fact, we drilled new targets that are 2 kilometers and then 2.5 kilometers to the north, and they're also generating the same high-grade results. So visible gold in quartz with high-grade assays. It's amazing. I like to think us geologists are the smartest people on the planet, and that we can just magically drill holes like that every day. That's not the case. Okay, when you see results like this over and over again, it speaks to the geology. It says that this is a strong system, and that even a knuckleheaded geologist like myself, being facetious, but that we can hit high grade like this. It basically tells you a lot about the system. That it's a strong system capable of generating high grades. what might it end up being? It could end up being easily being a multi-million ounce system at very high grades. Other important thing, it's right at surface. Look at the drill results. Most of the drill results we have are within, say, 100, 150 meters vertically below surface. Wow. I mean, to find a high grade deposit like this these days, which will likely be an open pit, by the way, that's pretty rare. That's very rare.
Yeah, terrific. Now, I've heard that Newfound Gold stock, again on the TSXV exchange, NFG, on the OTC markets, NFGFF. So this stock has been recently included on a very popular ETF, exchange traded fund. So what fund is that, and why is this significant?
Yeah, look, it's part of the VanEck GDXJ, and I think that speaks to the level of excitement around this play. I think by seeing it incorporated in that fund, that they view it as a potential world class discovery, and it's a good company with a number of other companies. But I would say Newfound from this point forward, they have a lot of value to unlock, and I think GDXJ will benefit from that as we go into this bull gold cycle. I think the companies like Newfound are going to just kind of supercharge the GDXJ.
I mean, the GDXJ is very, very popular, and this should be a huge catalyst for the company and the stock, I believe. And who are some of the major shareholders of Newfound Gold stock? I know there's some famous names in there.
Yeah, look, you can put a list of four parties together, and I think they control about 65%. So you got Palisade, which helped found the company, but also remained and built their position. I believe they have about 32%. And then you have Eric Sprott, I believe, is around 24. So right there, that's we're about 55, 56%. We have Rob McEwen at about 7 or 8%, I believe it is. So we call it 62-ish%. And then actually Noble has another 10. So we're actually take it back. We're over 70%, like 72% of the company is held by four parties. Okay. Now, beyond that, there's also other shareholders. I'm sure they don't want their names disclosed, but there's a lot of other shareholders who have, 1, 2, 3 million shares out there. So I bet if you put a list together of the top 12 shareholders, they would control perhaps 90% of all the stock out.
Yeah. And also, I just want to ask what's coming next for Newfound Gold. I understand people need to visit newfoundgold.ca to get the full picture, download the investor presentation, learn all about it. But just from what you can tell us right now, what's coming next?
Yeah, look, they just announced, like you said, an increased drill program. They're going to have 8 rigs. Okay, this is because this is a big discovery, and we want to be aggressive. We're also getting a handle on the geometry of the system, right, which allows us to be more aggressive. Okay, so there's going to be a long, steady stream of drill results of news around not only the Keat Zone and the expansion of that, but also testing these new targets. Okay, you're going to see one high-grade discovery after another, and that's great. But I would say within the next 6 to 12 months, there will also be a picture will start to form about how the project can be advanced towards production. When you're talking about extremely high grades right below surface, it's not hard for one's brain to connect the dots and say, let's figure out how we can mine this quickly. Okay, I think that the company will move in that direction.
Yeah, huge opportunity. I'm a fan of gold and gold miners, and I'm a huge fan of Newfound Gold. Please visit the website newfoundgold.ca. Quentin Henne, we're gonna have to get you back here on looking at the markets, especially when gold is let's say 3,000 or even higher. So thank you for coming on to the program today. I appreciate it today.
I'll look forward to it, David. Take care.